Like I said, I mean, this is based on data that we get from many different agencies. And we are expecting a good agricultural harvest. We are seeing increased movement in e-commerce. I think the whole e-commerce movement post-COVID, as I mentioned, has increased substantially. And so for this, the movement is very much desired by these smaller vehicles within the cities. And sorry, what was your other question? You said the...
Ashok Leyland's LCV performance.
Well, the market growth is 8 to 10%. Our endeavor definitely is to increase our market share, so we will be growing faster than that. Well, you know, the commodity prices have softened, and we saw this softening as a result of the government-imposed 15% export tax that came in. I would not like to, let's say, second guess in terms of what we would be doing. But depending on how the market goes, of course, we will do any corrections that are necessary. But I think it's still a little too early to take a call on this. Rajat, would you like to add anything?
In fact, we've not been passing the material increase to the market. It's a very sensitive market, price-sensitive market. Hence, it is very difficult to comment exactly what will be our strategy. And second thing is this price easing. Though material price has eased out, but actually, you know, there is an inventory which we have to consume. So you will see the actual impact in Q4. Yeah, so if you see, we had those platform, which is a little bit in lower range of pricing, but Bada those being customer-centric product, we have given unique propositions to customer. And the positioning of this will be entire 2 to 3.5 ton segment. So I1 will be placed some in the segment of 2.4, 2.5 ton. I2 will be in 2.8, 2.9 ton, and 3 ton and above we have I3 and I4. So this is based on the customer needs, especially the e-commerce sector and some of the market load applications where customer travel about 200 kilometers a day. So that's where we will position.
So it completes the entire gap you had in the medium or slightly in the higher segment, right?
Yes, 2 to 3.5 now we have covered everything.
What is the mileage promise in this new variant?
So in this new variant, it as of now it gives about 16 to 17 kilometers a liter.
Is there a sales target? What is the incremental volumes you're looking at with the new launches?
You're making it difficult for me.
So you seem to be...
Yeah, so of course, see, segment is growing. I mean, this year we've seen a phenomenal growth in the segment, which is growing at about 16%. So our share is growing. As I said, we are at 20.3% as of now. With these new launches, certainly it is going to go up.
Okay, but are the issues related to chips and semiconductors are they end now? How is it easing now? What is the situation? Because LCV was also one of the segments affected by the chip shortages.
Actually, the word you use, easing, is the right one, because I don't think we've seen the end of it yet. And if I look at the first 4 months of this year, our LCV sales would have been much higher if it had not been for the chip shortages. So yes, the indications that we get from our vendors is that the situation is improving, but we still need to come to the point where we can safely say that this is behind us.
Okay. Just one question. You said CNG is hitting the market soon when you're preparing to launch. But are you coming at a time CNG prices have gone up? Suddenly, even the manufacturer also made a request for some help because CNG prices have shot up in recent weeks. What do you have to say about this? Is the timing right, you think?
Yeah, see, CNG prices has been fluctuating. Of late, it has gone quite high, but I feel that because of the government policies and regulatory regulations, it will be, mandatory. Like in Delhi, NCR, Ahmedabad, Pune, certain area, it has become mandatory, and infrastructural growth, a lot of private player has come in CNG. So our calculation is that if the price difference is about 20 rupees and above between diesel and CNG, this segment is going to pick up again. So that's why, and positioning is that we have a low horsepower, one of the vehicle which is very successful, those CNG, and this will be now coming at higher horsepower, which will negotiate a lot of flyover, upgrade, uphill, etc. So that is the background of it.
Thank you.
Right. Are you also looking to cater to the sub 2 ton segment? Is that a vacant area for Ashok Leyland? And also any more product gaps in the small and light commercial vehicle space that you are looking to fill in future?
I think what I mentioned in my speech as well, across the board for our trucks and for our buses, we want to make sure that we cater to every single segment. And so if your question is directly on sub 2 ton as well, I would say in due course of time we intend to fill up the whole segment.
And of course the
Yeah, and on the second question which you asked, between 2 to 7.5 where we are present, yes, there are product lineup is there to fill up the entire gap.
And of course the obvious question with the electrification drive that's happening, roughly, tentatively when can we expect the ESC to be out?
Which I mentioned, within 6 months' time, we're looking at launching of the electric LCVs as well.
Adding on that question, given that the charging infrastructure is not complete in our country, do you think the rollout will take off? And what will be the pricing compared to the conventional fuel vehicles?
In terms of the takeoff, I think we do not see the LCV moving very fast in electric version in retail. It'll be very much on a B2B basis, and whether it's the logistics company, e-commerce companies, and for them, within their infrastructure, we will create the charging stations as well. So just like the buses, the vehicles will come back in the evening and will get charged up. As far as the pricing is concerned, I'd like to keep that on hold for the moment till we launch. But I think the intention is to be competitive and to make sure that when you look at the total cost of ownership, it will be a very viable product for the customer.
Hi, question from Motor Magazine. A couple of questions. One is the service interval of the vehicle. And the second one is the labor service charges seems to be pretty high is one complaint to which the operators keep telling us. What about the standardization of the service charges? Though it is at the legal point.
Service interval at present it is 10,000 kilometer, and though I know what you are trying to, yes, we are working on increasing the service interval. So with the OBD2 which is getting implemented in on 1st April 23, we will enhance the service interval. This is one. Second, your second question is on labor charges. We keep checking labor charges and according to the market need, we keep altering that. The operator, we have a schedule, we have a service schedule, and once customer comes to our dealership, there is standard service schedule which is as compared to market, I would say is not high as such. Maybe if you are talking about perception, we will find out and we'll work on this. But as such, labor charges are highly competitive compared to other competition products in the market. And second thing is, if you look at 5-year and older vehicle, 5 to 6 year and older vehicle, they generally go out for service, but there is no comparison between outside service and our service. So that is the intention. Safety feature in the, first thing is that there is we've done enough safety test in the vehicle. There's a frontal beam which protects the driver. There have been very unpleasant incidents in the past, but we have done significant crash test and we came out very clearly on that norm. That is one. Second is in terms of ergonomics and the gaps between steering and the driver, the pedal gaps, etc. All has been considered and all the safety norms have been taken care very well while designing the vehicle. In fact, it is one of the safest LCV, I would say, the kind of incidents which I have seen, and no driver or passenger has been hurt so far.
Thank you, sir.